angle, our Home Depot coaching clinic, and there is the blocking advantage for the smaller Bruin side. Kidder with 15 kills, Tabby Love with 10 to lead UCLA. Barch has 17, Ward with 14 for Illinois. And the kill by Sarah Sage, so a senior middle blocker making her first appearance here in the finals.
And the other thing that's surprising me is just all of these runs. One team is bleeding points near the end of that set number 3. UCLA was up 21-19. Then Illinois scored 5 in the next 6. But then UCLA scoring the last 4 to finish it out. One team bleeding, then the other. And the bleed continues for Illinois.
Fighting Illini will have to win the last 2 sets to take home their first championship trophy and their first appearance in the final. For these UCLA Bruins, well, none of the current players have been here before, but it's one of the most tradition-rich volleyball programs in the country. They are looking for a 4th championship, the first in 20 years. And really an opportunity to take the West Coast back on top. The championship has been residing in State College, Pennsylvania for the last 4 years. And a Pac-12 school has not won it since it was last played here in the Alamo Dome in 2005 when the Washington Huskies brought it home. And Michael Seeley trying to become the first on the women's side to win it as a player and as a coach. He was a part of the '93 National Championship men's team. Off the block, point Illinois. 18 kills now for Birch. It was a UCLA team that was in some dire straits at the end of the regular season. Certainly, we're not anticipating a finish like this. They lost 3 of their last 5 matches. Point Bruins. And then Michael Seeley called on Sue Enquist, their legendary softball coach, to come talk to the team, and that was a big turning point for them.
A lot of them said it was a life-changing experience, and just the attitude that they took going into the postseason. It was not anymore about me, it was all about them and adding up to more than the sum of their parts. Since then, they've been playing more for each other, had this great run.
Enquist was a part of 11 national championships. Seeley said it was like lightning in a bottle. She shows up at a team meeting and reminded the players that the playoffs are not about being perfect. You manage your failures and you recover quickly. And we've seen not only the Bruins, but Illinois do a little bit of that tonight as well.
And in a sense, this game is all about failure. It takes a whole team to succeed on a play. You've got to pass, you've got to set, you've got to swing. Everybody's got to do their job. But you're totally exposed when you serve the ball out of bounds like that, or you shank a pass. Then that 9th serving error for Illinois. But those errors add up to points for the other team.
Karch, that's 9 free points, and we've had 3 sets all decided by 2 points apiece. So I'm not a mathematician, but that's not good for Illinois.
Especially when the margins are as thin as they are in this particular match. You hate to give up any, and Illinois' got to be happy they went on that huge run in set number 2, or this is over.
A 12-3 run to finish that second set.
They were down 20-13. Yep. It looked like it was going to be 2-0. Now Illinois bleeding points again. But the way this has been going, expect them to come right back and score 5 in a row and tie it up.
Timeout after the ace from UCLA. That's their first of the match, and a 7-2 lead here in the 4th. Another big moment on the women's side here in the state of Texas tomorrow night. We'll go to the round ball up in Waco. Undefeated number 2 UConn will visit undefeated top-ranked Baylor. Action is 8:30 Eastern on ESPN as well as ESPN3 and your Watch ESPN app. Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers on ESPN Sunday night at 8:30 Eastern with UConn and Baylor. Michael Seeley, a member of the 1993 UCLA National Championship team for Al Skates. Let's take you back And a match that was played in Pauley Pavilion.
Yep, with a number of familiar faces in this picture. Eric Sullivan on that team, who now played in the Olympics and coached for Nebraska, now for Texas.
I think it was John Sproul, also a member of that team.
Yep, sitting just down the way from us.
A couple of championships with UC Irvine on the men's side. Interestingly enough, Sproul's former assistant, David Niffen, is now an assistant coach for Kevin Hambley over on the Illinois side tonight. One of those rarities where there are actually more opportunities and more money on the women's side of the sport than on the men's side.
Yep, only about 20, just over 20 Division I programs for the men versus almost 340 for the women.
Here by Michelle, Point, Illinois.
Point, Illinois.
Into the Illini and serving Rachel Feldman.
Rachel Feldman on to serve.
Well, this is just about the time Illinois comes storming back. Feldman comes in. She serves effectively. See if she can break down the passing game of UCLA as she's been able to do earlier in this match. Not that time.
Down the line for Rachel Kidder. 8-3 Bruins. 18 kills now for Kidder. Strong serve. That's going to set up UCLA. Van Orden, look at it, Tabby Love. Beltran brings it up. Birch, strong on the swing. Point UCLA.
Well, Birch has been making a lot of good choices. That wasn't necessarily one of them. A little off the net, not a great set. Trying to make something out of nothing, and you already talked about it, Beth. You don't want to give up freebies.
Nightingale didn't quite get all of it. Goes up to try and push it across and into the net by the freshman. Point, Illinois. Reminder to stick around after the match. Join us on ESPN3 to see the trophy presentation and the awards ceremony at the conclusion of our NCAA Volleyball Championship. Illinois' got to take the fourth and then win in a fifth set, which is what they did against USC, winning that thrilling 5-setter on Thursday in the semis.
Into the Bruin lineup is Sarah Sage. Back to serve, Lainey Guerra.
Lainey Guerra back to serve. Got a couple of older sisters that played collegiately at Fresno State. Used to follow them around to the court all the time. Ward tees off. Point, Illinois.
Point, Illinois. In for the Fighting Illini and adored.
15 now for Ward.
Who also came out with a pretty slow start, but got Illinois going in that second set with her blocking and her swinging in transition.
Kill by Sarah Sage. Point UCLA.
Point UCLA for Sage. Getting some more time here in the fourth set.
But they think of her as a little bit more of an offensive threat. Of course, a little more experience as a senior. Good time to have more of that on the court. Nice up by Guerra.
Couldn't connect into the middle, so they'll go outside to Love. Point, Bruins. This is the rotation where they've got the size advantage with the 6'5" Love in and Illinois' 6'6" McMahon out. Tabby Love has 11 kills tonight. Back row Barch up there solo. Sage, but it goes wide. Point, Illinois. 20 kills for Barch. Second match in a row that she's reached that number.
And she's been pretty effective for them out of the back row. When they get in trouble, I would definitely think about getting the ball to her more often.
10th service error of the match.
Into the Bruin lineup is Rachel Kidder. In the serve,
you only need 3 sets to win. They've almost given a half of one to UCLA in those 10 errors.
UCLA does not have a service error tonight. Kidder tried to tip that one back over. Point Illinois.
Serving is Colleen Ward.
Colleen Ward to serve. Van Orden, Kidder.
The play before, Van Orden and Kidder had a bad connection. Kidder couldn't even get the ball over the net. That time it was perfect. They kept it in the fast tempo that they want to run just to create space between the block for Kidder to attack.
Look at the Birch. Pushes that one to the deep corner. Point Illinois.
In for the Illini, Aaron Johnson. Back to serve, Jennifer Beltran.
Beltran serving.
Well, it looks like Illinois wants to put UCLA just where UCLA wants to be and then come storming back like they did in set number 2. If they're going to, and it started with plays like that in the second set, but if they're going to get their first title ever in their first championship game ever, they're going to have to start making exceptional plays like that. One-on-one block by Bart. She's been making it happen offensively. Now it's their turn, and they have McMahon at the net. Also strong blocker on the other side of the net. They're in good shape blocking-wise to create opportunities.
Kidder off the block and out. Point UCLA. 20 kills now for Kidder. Kelly Reeves. Down to dig that up. Back outside to Kidder. Turned away by the block. Kidder's going to get another swing. Diving play by Ward. Now McMahon in transition. Look at a Birch. Got it.
That's twice Todorovic has gotten beaten in the backcourt by the tip of Barch. Smart choices by Barch to mix up her pace, tip it to various spots on the court. UCLA was controlling her with their block, so she goes off speed.
Back set Nightingale. Point UCLA.
And that's a good choice too. Look, Nightingale left one-on-one. Illinois was never planning on putting a second blocker in front of her. And UCLA, some nights they get a lot of production out of her, others no. But tonight that'll be key for them down the stretch.
How about a career high 10 blocks along with 7 kills and an ace for Kidder. And the Bruins getting close.
Trying to end that 20-year drought between titles.
The 9 seed in the tournament after stumbling badly at the end of the regular season. Playing so poorly, in fact, that they changed from a 5-1 to a 6-2 offense. Things were looking so grim. And then they started the NCAA tournament and changed back. And they've been rolling along ever since. 18-10 Bruins. Now let's get you to the studio with Jonathan Coachman.
Beth, thank you so much. A lot going on right now. Oklahoma State, New Mexico, they have tipped off in Oklahoma City. You can see that game currently on ESPN3. We will go there live just as soon as we crown a national champion there in San Antonio. Back to you.
it. Jennifer Beltran taking over the huddle, the sophomore, trying to get a little fire back in Illinois. They are on the verge here of getting knocked out, and UCLA 7 points away from winning the national championship. Illinois, after that thriller in the semis, winning in the 5th set on a match point that lasted over a minute. And we'll remind you that in the 2nd set, they were down 20-13 and rallied to win earlier tonight. And now in a big hole once again, trying to get their first national championship and trying to deny UCLA a chance to move up ahead of the rest of the pack. Only Penn State and Stanford would have more titles.
UCLA looking, there's a 5-way logjam there. They'd certainly like to break free and get 4th title after the first came much earlier in NCAA women's volleyball history. 84, 90, and 91. Not one since.
Just one trip to the semifinals in the last couple of decades before this year. It's been a long time. And Michael Seeley, a UCLA guy in his 2nd season. Trying to become the first player coach on the women's side to get a title. Sliding behind Johnson. Love just missed it wide. Point Illinois.
Seeley was saying to the team yesterday, do you believe it? The last game of the season is happening tomorrow, and we get to play it. And he's still pinching himself. He's really good at keeping his team loose.
By Beltran. Another block for UCLA. Well, Michael Seeley knows what it means to wear that jersey and to be in these types of situations. Nightingale having a career evening. We asked him about it, is there any pressure involved? He said, it's such an honor to come to UCLA and play. And the first time you put that jersey on, it's like, all right, you're here, now go win us a title. Or in his words, here's your sword, go slay the dragon.
And anything less, no title, then it wasn't a successful season. 5 points away from more than a successful season for the Bruins. Good read by Guerra.
Even when it goes wrong, it goes right for UCLA. 4 points from the national championship. Ward can't finish. Outside to Love. She does.
Kill by Tammy Love. Point UCLA.
1991, the last NCAA championship for the Bruins. Trying to get their 4th NCAA title. Illinois gets the kill.
Into the line as Anna Dorn. Into serve, Jackie Wolf.
They were in huge trouble at the end of the 3rd set. They fought off 2 set points, went on a 4-0 run to win it, to set themselves up here in the 4th. Love rejected. Can Illinois do it again?
Stranger things have happened.
Another service error for Illinois. Their 11th of the match, and the Bruins are 2 points away from the championship. Lurson gets the kill. Point Illinois.
Into the line on his list of men, serving Annie Lurson.
Some perspiration on the floor on the UCLA side. And take care of that as Larson waits to serve.
And this is where UCLA had all this trouble in set number 2. They just could not handle the serve of Illinois anymore. Illinois needs to put them in trouble with this one, and does a little. Creates a point scoring opportunity.
Colleen Ward got another one. Van Orden to Sage. Championship point, UCLA. They've got 9 attempts at it. Colleen Ward with the tip, brought up by Van Orden. Rachel Kidder takes a swing at it. Back to Colleen Ward. Got it. Another championship point for the Bruins.
Ward will serve for the Illini.
Van Orden to the middle. A 2-decade drought is done, and the Bruins are back on top.